we're back to football. Got some hardware now, so good to go.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What has this been like? And it was kind of kept under wraps, but I mean, then you've got drones and helicopters and everything else, taking pictures of whatever it seems.
You know, it is what it is. But we're good.
You used to this yet?
Yeah, I think so. Feels good.
Even out there?
Yeah.
Now you're married, you got cats got your tongue or something?
No, you know, football.
What has it been like throwing with Josh Palmer, Elijah Moore, Lavishka, guys that you haven't had as much reps with?
Yeah, it's going to be an adjustment period. Obviously, I got a little bit of work throughout the OTAs. Was in and out. But I am, you know, working hard to get on the same page with them, and they're three guys again that move really well. Different body types for all three of them. They're each really good at some things, and we got to utilize those strengths to our benefit.
James, quarterback and leader on this team. Your thoughts on James Cook's situation, and because you haven't really had many of these since you got here as the quarterback. Now you're whatever it is, 8. Your thoughts on the guys who are going through this?
Yeah, well, one, I'm very, very proud that he's here and he's working as hard as he is, being on the field with us. I know a lot of guys that wouldn't do that, but he's out there and working hard and you know, showing everybody that he's here for the right reasons, and you know, hopefully that can get solved. I love Jimbo. You know, I think the whole team does, and you know, he's one of the best backs in the league, and you know, hopefully that can be reflected soon. And but again, just props for him to be here and show out like that. So very proud that he's here.
What's that balance like as a leader? You want him here, but also a member of the union and the brotherhood of everybody should get what they can.
Absolutely. You know, I want everybody to get paid and get what they're worth. And again, I don't have anything to do with that. You know, all I care about is you know, that he's okay mentally and he can come out here and perform physically. And usually the rest takes care of itself. But again, it shows a lot that he's here.
Between Hard Knocks and a Hallmark movie and everything else, there's a different kind of spotlight that's going to be on you guys in the months ahead. How do you navigate sort of the added attention that's going to be on you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just kind of keep doing what we're doing here. We've had some good success over the last few years, and you know, it's just not allowing things to deter us from being who we are and doing what we do. And you know, that part, it is what it is too. And I think you know, Hard Knocks, it is what it is. Yeah, but we're going to keep working hard and just make sure that our focus is on the main thing, and that's trying to bring a Lombardi trophy here.
What's the goal for minicamp?
The goal for minicamp is just to get loose, get back to throwing some footballs and getting on the same page with some guys. You know, there's some few mistakes out there today, but you know, that's to be expected. Just learning from new concepts that we're putting in, and understanding different body types and guys we're throwing to, and just trying to see what guys are good at, and you know, just again keying things that we need to work on. And we've got Chris Hess here working on some of the mechanic stuff and just getting back to that.
Besides the life-changing event that you just experienced, what has this offseason been like for you in your first MVP, after your first MVP season?
I mean, it's no different to me, to be honest. You know, it's at the end of the day, it doesn't mean a whole lot in terms of winning championships. So that's kind of what it is.
Anything stand out about the defensive line that they moved in a lot of new pieces, whether it's draft or free agency?
Yeah, just a lot of new faces, but a lot of big guys up front. You know, and I know that that was an emphasis this offseason, and we brought in quite a few new guys, but. You know, I got the chance to kind of meet and talk to a few of them, and you know, they're got good attitudes on that D line, and hopefully that they can mesh well together and be a real force for us.
Aside from the football aspect, this is kind of like piggybacking on Vic's question, but I'm going to include getting married. But MVP, a new big contract extension, and then what? Like, and then the marriage. What to you personally Meaning, how meaningful has those events been over the three-month period?
I mean, they've all been big. None other than marrying my best friend, and you know, she makes everything easier. So I don't really focus on the other stuff. You know, that was you know, the most important decision I'll make in my life, and you know, I made the right one.
Talked about it in the past about using these practices to take chances, make mistakes, and learn from mistakes. How much over the course of your career have you gone back, like made a play in a game that made you harken back to some of these moments when you took chances and learned from them and had successes in the games?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're doing and why we do it. You don't win games by, you know, trying to throw an in cut here, but you can learn from it and understand where that window is. And again, I think there's been games throughout the regular season too where, you know, we may face a team twice, and just knowing what they're trying to do. If you see the same look, you kind of revert back to, all right, I've done this before. What mistake did I make, and what can I do to not make that mistake again? And it's all about learning and trial by error.
What's your favorite stadium memory?
Favorite stadium memory? Probably the AFC divisional game against the Patriots. Or was it the wild card? Yeah, the wild card. Just the fans going crazy. I know there was a lot of pent up energy and aggression from Bills Mafia in that one. That one was fun.
Hey Josh, it's 5-6 weeks you have off. What have you found is your best routine to throw or to shut it down?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's throwing, sprinkling it in, making sure the body's getting the rest and the recovery that it needs, and still maintaining, you know, working out. And you know, the throwing, you know, I'm a big believer in the more throws that you can get, the better, especially early on in your career. Now, in terms of saving your shoulder and just making sure that you're smart with how many throws you're getting and putting yourself kind of on a little shot clock, if you will, and making sure that, again, you're just doing all the stuff to prehab and make sure that that shoulder is going to be holding up for the long term, which I feel like we've got a really good plan in place. Jason Oswart has been working with a lot of different guys around the country that specialize in throwing mechanics and how to work that out, and he's doing a great job in our strength room. And that's a big plus to what Will's doing and making sure that Jason has all the tools that he needs to help us.
He talked about how the offense has to evolve and said that last week. For you, do you feel that? Is it palpable that it's evolving, that there are changes, whether they're nuanced or not, that you're experiencing?
Yeah, and again, going out there and trying to understand the changes to some of the schemes that we're doing and some of the concepts, and making sure that they're right for us, you know, and that's kind of a product of going into this mini camp of what do we like going into camp. And camp's the real kind of like, what are we going to work on, what's going to be our main recipes, if you will. But doing this in mini camp right now, just trying new stuff, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, and you never know really what's going to come out of it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's let's throw this one away, we don't need it. And you know, hopefully we can do that in the next couple of days.
Josh, I know you've talked about in the past years things you're working on each year. Is there a specific thing for this season, or is that something maybe that comes to you more as you get towards training camp? A specific thing you want to work on for this year?
Yeah, again, I think just making sure that my feet are right, knowing that my eyes and feet are working together. You know, as you guys can see, again, we have Chris Hess here, just making sure the mechanics are lining up, and what can I continue to tweak and work on there, and making sure that I'm as consistent as possible throwing the football and allowing myself and my mind to be what's going on in front of me and not worrying about, you know, the body.
Are you the type of did you notice things for yourself, or was that brought to your attention in terms of some mechanics that you could tweak a little bit? Is that something you noticed on your own?
It's stuff that I feel. It's like a golf swing. You can feel it, but until you kind of see it and someone points it out to you, you really don't know. And sometimes you practice the wrong habits, and you know, we don't want to do that. So making sure that, again, we're staying on top of those things, and if there's something that we need to tweak for the better, we're gonna try to do that. Bless you.
Is that what this thing was?
Yes, just checking in and getting a baseline of what we can do and trying to peak in training camp.
How often do you go through something like this, just to, you know, gauge where you are?
Usually 2 to 3 times in the off season, and then depending on when we need it during the season, 1 or 2 more times.
You've joked in the past James was going to be here.
I was told he was going to be here. So yeah.
You joked in the past about your weight during the off season. How are you
that regard?
Good. Do I need to be worried?
You joked about it, which is why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
You said you'd let yourself go.
Jokingly.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
It's all sarcasm?
Sorry. Yes, of course.
What he's trying to say.
How do I look? Do I look okay?
I think you look
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Thank
good,
you.
okay, is what he's trying
Yes,
to
yes,
say.
it did.
That's not what I'm trying to say.
I think that is.
It's not a wedding question. It's a dating chick question.
Josh, I don't think we've heard from you since the league decided NFL players can potentially play flag football in the Olympics. What are your thoughts on that idea?
I'm not going to disrespect the guys that are playing flag football right now, but if there was an opportunity for me to try, I would absolutely love to. I've always wanted to compete for my country, and every time the Olympics are on, I'm tuned in and glued to the screen. But I think there's really no greater honor to do that. That'd be really cool. But I guess we'll find out.
Cut you off. That was also the same day as the tush push stuff. I guess you've got a very interesting perspective, I'm sure, on the tush push. Just how do you feel about that play and then the decision that it'll be allowed to be used?
Yeah, they don't swing one way or another. If you can use it to your benefit, great. And again, I'm a firm believer in, there's even in practice, right? If the defense doesn't want us dancing and having a good time, don't let us in the end zone. So find a way to stop it. And that's kind of my mindset. And there are teams that do a better job of stopping it. There are teams that don't do as good a job of stopping, just like any other concept in the game plan. So, yeah.
Get a taste of the ramp up here being back together, but what's the excitement for the true ramp up for training camp in a month?
Very excited. I love camp. I love being with the guys in the dorm rooms, spending basically every waking second with your team, getting to know guys on a deeper level, and that's what I look forward to the most in developing that team. There's another aspect that I've never dealt with, and that is the hard knocks, and we'll just try to navigate it as best as we can.